Okay, so today we're doing part of our She's Doing It series where we're talking to real life clients of Couture Fitness and Lifestyle Coaching who are doing it, who are doing the program, having results, who are participating in the Calories Up Revolution, who are eating more and working out less and getting great results. So today we're talking to our beautiful client, Maggie. And so Maggie, do you want to tell us like what was going on when you came? You've been working with us for, oh gosh, 6 or more months now, 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
So
Seven
what
or
was
8
going
months, yeah.
on and what made you decide to start working with us?
Well, I have been sort of a lifetime Weight Watchers person. So I'd been sort of counting my calories for many, many years. And I'm a runner. So I was running 4 times a week. I was lifting weights twice a week. And I had just started gaining a lot of weight during COVID. Like, even though I'd been counting calories, I gained like almost 10 pounds. And so I knew something wasn't working. And I kind of came in a little bit of desperation because I was restricting my eating a lot and I was running a lot. So I sort of was kind of ready to try something else.
Okay. And so, yeah, so you were definitely not, I would not put you in the overeating category. I think we calculated and you were probably eating between 12 and 1300 calories most days. There was some calorie roller coaster stuff going on the
Oh
weekends.
yeah, I would blow it out on the weekend sometimes because I would be so sort of depleted. That
Yeah,
definitely happens.
yes. But you were, kind of doing what you thought you should be doing to manage your weight.
Yeah, I was following basically what Weight Watchers had taught me, which they sort of, they gave you daily points and then they gave you sort of a bank of points for the week. And they said you could eat that whole bank on one day. So that's kind of what I was doing. And yeah, that didn't work at all.
Okay. Stop working, I guess we would say. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's just cut to the chase. What have your results been?
I've lost almost 20 pounds. I am a lot stronger. I'm eating a lot more food than I was before. And I am running a lot less.
Okay. Yeah. So one of our, we always talk about eating more and exercising less. But you love exercising. So I don't know that
I
you're
love to run. I
yeah.
love to run. So that was hard. That was actually one of the harder parts as going from running. I think I was running like 20 miles a week, and now I'm running closer to 8.
Okay.
So that's a real difference.
Yeah. But we've talked about that maybe even your running has I don't know that you've gotten faster, but has your running improved or your
Yeah,
endurance
no,
improved?
I am definitely faster. It's not an endurance change, it's faster.
Okay. Yeah. And that's probably on account of the extra food and the lifting.
I think so. I think it's definitely the extra food and the lifting.
Yeah. Okay. Can you describe what you get when you work with us, like what all the components of the program and kind of how you have experienced that?
Yeah, so I have Coach Janine, and Coach Janine checks in with me once a week, sort of looks at all of my numbers, and sort of tells me what my targets are for the following week, answers any questions I have, and she gives me workouts, and she will change up the workouts based on some of my feedback. Sort of like she gave me one workout that I was like, I don't really think I have the right tools for this, and so she sort of gave me another option there. So I work out in my house. So I sent her pictures of the stuff I have, and she always makes sure that all of my workouts are just things I can use in my house.
Okay.
And then you just have to eat your macros, which means like logging your food in MyFitnessPal to see that you're hitting all your macros, and then putting all that data, and then steps. You have to hit your step goal, whatever your step goal is. So and then there are classes. There's a Sunday evening class, which is sort of the mindset class to sort of help you do all the things, because sometimes you can sort of throw yourself a pity party or whatever. And then there's a Saturday morning call. I never really go to the Saturday morning call, but I always listen to it afterwards because I find it really useful. The Saturday morning call is just not a good time for me. But it's really useful because everybody is having the same problems. So if you hear somebody have a problem, it's usually a problem that either I have had or I will have. So it's always helpful to listen to those. And then there's also classes in the middle of the session. Right now there's one about habits, and I'm working on one of my habits. And so it's very useful. I like those classes.
Good. Okay. And so, but your coach Janine gives you a plan at the outset that tells you exactly what to do.
Yes. So I know exactly what to do for the week. And sometimes I need to look ahead to the next week, and I'll ask her sort of, can you give me a sense of what's happening? I realize though that like she's changing it and sort of tweaking it based on the numbers I'm giving her. So what my weight is every day, what I ate every day, what my steps were, what my measurements are. So it's definitely a dynamic thing.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people say that they come to us and they're like, I just need accountability. You know, I need some structure and accountability. But I mean, how's your experience? Is she something more than accountability for you?
So, you know, I didn't really need accountability as much as I needed someone to sort of just tell me what to do because I was doing everything wrong. But I like accountability sounds scary to me. So like she's not like judging me or like accountable in those ways. She's sort of keeping me accountable in the like, she's like my biggest cheerleader. Like, look at all these steps you did, or you know.
Yeah.
So she's accountable. I'm accountable to her, but not in a way that like is scary.
Yeah. But would like to tell people like, you know, that we really are, your coaches are really, we are looking at the data and making changes based on that. It's not just a warm body to receive your inputs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that from like, she'll change things up based on what's going on. And I know that she explains like, I think we need to do X or Y because this is doing this. And so I know that she's looking at my data and she knows what's going on. Like, as I was gaining calories, she'd be like, okay, your body has started losing again. So now it's time to get more calories in, you know, but she was watching to know when that happened.
Yeah. Okay. And then tell us, how are you doing it? You work full time. You have a very demanding job. You're an attorney. You have 2 small children. You're married. You maintain a house. How do you fit it all in? How are you doing it?
You know, it's actually not that, I mean, it's not that hard to do it. I get up and do it in the morning, but like, it's just a sort of decision to, you know, fit your stuff in. Like, it's not like lifting doesn't take that long, and hitting your steps doesn't take that long. It's really just deciding to find a way to do it and doing it. I don't find logging food very hard at all. I do it in advance in my FitnessPal, and then I just sort of follow my program. And if I need to change it, I change it. But that's really like, I like to do it in chunks, like 3 or 4 days at a time. And that's just sort of like lying in bed one night for like 10 or 15 minutes, just planning out what I'm going to eat for the next few days and then just following that.
Do you eat food different from your family?
No, that was one really important thing to me, was that I was going to eat the same dinners and et cetera as the rest of the family. So like, that's how I plan the whole family's meals. So I figure out what we're eating for dinner and if we're having any other meals together, and I put those into my FitnessPal first. And then I usually have plenty of other macros to figure out, like, you know, what I'm going to eat for breakfast on a Tuesday morning.
And you've found ways to incorporate, like you do HelloFresh for dinner. So
I do. I really love having somebody else give me my options and then I just pick them. Yeah, I do HelloFresh, and I find it really, they give you your macros, so you can just program that in using the little quick add thing and then put a note to tell yourself what you're supposed to eat that night. And it's not hard. It's not hard.
So you were doing that before, you're still able to do that. Okay.
Sometimes I pick slightly different things, like things with higher protein, or but other than that, it's the same.
So this has not involved going out, buying all different food, having to cook separate meals for yourself, buying our food. We don't, you cook your own food. We don't sell you food or supplements.
No, and I find it really exhausting to think about trying to find recipes for everybody all the time. So I just don't do that. And that's fine. I can totally do this. without doing them.
Okay.
There are people that get really excited about all the macro food bloggers. I don't. I just want to eat the same things and I'm fine.
Okay. Good. That's good. What do you think that someone has to do to be successful with this program?
You have to be willing to log your food, or plan your food in advance is really ideal. And you have to be willing to get in your steps. You have to be willing to lift the weights. So, if you're not going to do any of those things, it's probably not for you.
Okay. And what do you think about like being coachable or like listening to your coach?
It's hard because a lot of the things you tell us are slightly different from what like the weight loss industry has been sort of like throwing at us for years and years. And so you have to like feel like I'm going to believe this and be coachable, sort of like let someone say, no, you really do need to eat more carbs now. Like, carbs are supposed to be evil in the weight loss industry, but like I have learned they're not evil. And in fact, I need to eat more of them and sort of finding my own way to get in the more carbs. And that's another thing that Janine's been helpful with. Like I'll be like, I don't know how to get all these carbs in, and she'll give me some ideas. So I really like having her on the other end. I know that she's there and is always very helpful whenever I email her. And she emails me regularly, but without a question, she's always getting back to me pretty quick.
Yeah, she is an amazing coach. Okay. Is there as are all of our coaches, is there anyone who you think this is not for?
Yeah, it's not for someone who's not gonna measure their food and count their food. Like if you're not gonna do that, like this isn't gonna work for them.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks that they should just be able to figure out what to eat because that's what they feel in the moment, like it's not going to work that way. You're not going to do that. And if you're not willing to like really lift the weights and really believe and not have as much cardio, like it's just not gonna, you have to listen to your coach. If you're not going to listen to your coach, then don't do this.
Yeah. Well, I think that also requires interacting with your coach, giving your coach the data.
Yeah, you got to weigh yourself every day. You got to put that in your spreadsheet. You can't. Yeah. And not only log the food, but put your food in the spreadsheet with your macros. Like you don't have to say what you ate, but you do have to say what your carbs, your fats, your protein, and your fiber was. Otherwise, they don't know anything about like what are they going to do? Yeah,
but this is not an inordinate time commitment. I would say it probably takes 5 minutes to do this a day. To log all this stuff.
Yeah, if I was chunking it out for a day, I would say probably not even 5 minutes. Like I usually do it like in 3-day increments, but and then it's like 15 or 20. But then it's done. It's not a big deal. It doesn't even take 30 seconds to put it all in your spreadsheet. Once you've got it all set out, it's fast.
Yeah. Okay. And what would you say is the way? What are the biggest difference between our program and Weight Watchers?
So Weight Watchers had a point system, and the point system was really based on calories. So you could really eat, they suggested you eat well, but you could really eat almost anything as long as you were just eating your points. So you could have like a day of really poor eating or a day of really great eating, and it would look the same. I am now realizing like how different that is. Like you can't do that on this program because you have a certain number of fats and a certain number of protein. And so you've got to hit all of those things. So that's a huge difference. And the other big difference is Weight Watchers is so many fewer calories. And it doesn't get you back up when you're done. I mean, I hit Lifetime and they gave me like 5 extra points, which was like 250 more calories a day, which is not a lot, right? So it's different in terms of how much calories they want you to be eating generally, and it's different in terms of like this one, you're gonna have to eat food that's pretty healthy. Not all the time. You can totally fit in other things, but you're not going to be able to eat only junk and still hit your macros. You can't do that with macros.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel like from an energy and just like health standpoint? doing this versus Weight Watchers?
So the first thing I'd say to that is the mindset is so different. Like food before was like almost an anvil. Like, what was I going to eat? You know, I had to eat as little as possible. I had to restrict. It was a much bigger deal in my life than before. And now I know I can fit it all in. It's going to be fine. And it's just less of a like thing that I am constantly thinking about. So like that's the first thing I would say. I also have a lot more energy, and I did not know that I felt bad before. I would not have told you that I was depleted. I would not have said that I was, you know, exhausted. But now looking back, I'm like, wow, I was exhausted. Like not, I have so much more sort of like peace and like energy now than before.
Yeah. Yeah. We hear that from a lot of clients. And to a point that they're like, you know, I don't even care about the weight that much. I feel good. I have great energy. I am enjoying life and I feel stronger. So let's just keep going, sort of no matter what that scale says, even though for most people, the scale also does what they want it to do.
Yeah,
when it
it
hasn't
just
for
doesn't
years.
do what you want it to do as quickly as you want it to do it.
Right.
Because
It never does.
we all want it to happen like in 2 days.
We all want to lose 10 pounds a week, and that is not realistic. Okay, well, I think you are an amazing example of someone who, you know, once you started nourishing your body and gave it, you know, really high quality nutrition. And I'm not talking about like fruits and vegetables, but like lots of protein, lots of good quality carbs, healthy fats, you know, and we added in, you know, maybe it's just some more structured resistance training, like your body has really thrived. You've lost pounds, you've lost inches, all while eating more, doing less jogging, and having loads of energy. So I would call you a success story.
Yes, I am going to live like this the rest of my life because this is a much better way to live.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you for sharing with us how you're doing it, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.